can't even hide my excitement, honestly. Absolutely peaking duck. What that is the boat to the Isle of Man for the TT. And we're about to get on it. I'm so excited. I've been giddy all the way here.
Do you really want to go?
Do I really want to go?
I thought you said you didn't really want to go.
I never said that. Why would you say something like that? I've been counting the days for the last year.
You were saying I can't really be bothered to go to the TT.
It's my favourite time of the year. It's like Christmas times a million. It's just the best. I can't wait. We're going to the TT. We'll see you there.
What is it doing now?
1 minute start line, 1 minute.
Just tears under that lid there. We'll just give him a minute to compose himself. This means a lot, a real lot. Remember the story of the race. Pete Harrison took the early lead. Him and Davey Todd Bowell, and then Michael just appeared from the lap number 2. He appeared, and that was it. Davey was going to him down the way.
Rode a bit tight at the beginning. Like laps were alright, but it was nice.
The 2, baby.
Not bad start. For the Powerfield Met guys, they've done a fantastic job. The whole time since we got here, the bikes are complete unknown, so every session they've been making it better and better for me to ride, and yeah, it seems it's not too bad around the TT course.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Michael, what do you think about that on the personal level, being a bike fan like you are? Joey, wow.
Yeah, to be honest, if I was going to get beat by anybody, I'm pretty glad it's Michael today. To get that record, something pretty special, and hats off to him, he's riding fantastic, so I'm just looking forward to race 2.
You and Dean are having a battle at the start though, nothing between you, half a second between the top 3 at one point.
Yeah, I was just getting boards around the course. Guys are giving me pit boards +0, -0 in P2. I thought, yeah, this is going to be a tight one, but just tried to get my head down. I rode a little bit tight at the beginning and managed to relax into it the last couple of laps, and really enjoyed riding the Ducati, as I say, and I think we make a couple of tweaks and everything's better for it.
Pretty good, yeah.
Hey.
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 It's looking for you.
Yeah, as if.
I was on the way up. Practice has all been going well, and the most challenging bike we've had here is a Ducati because it's never been here before. So every session we're just trying to make it better and better and learn it a little bit, and the guys have done a fantastic job. But Yeah, the first couple of laps rode a little bit tight and then eased into it a bit better after the pit stop.
The bike sounded wonderful, and that's your second podium.
Yeah, second podium. It's I didn't get one last year, which I was gutted about. We had loads of bad luck, I guess. Had mechanicals. I had a real bad illness towards the end of the TT, so to come back here, I would desperately wanted to be on the podium and challenge him at the front, and we did just that. Michael's riding fantastic. Hats off to him. He rode a great race, and we're not too far behind, but just that little bit. We got a couple more tweaks with Ducati, and looking forward to race 2.
What? What am I talking about? About the race yesterday?
About the racing and getting a podium,
I
maybe.
finished second place. We've had a hectic one. Real busy practice week, especially with the Ducati, trying to fine tune it and get it into the right place to work around the TT course. We know it's a real competitive bike on short circuits, but around the TT course is a whole different thing. So the boys, the Power Toolmate Ducati boys, have been working so hard, fine-tuning the bike, making it better and better every single session, and knew we had a little bit more in hand for the race. Didn't quite know how much, so got out there in the first race and stuck it on P2. We battled for the lead for a little bit, a lap and a half, 2 laps. Michael pulled few seconds coming into the pits on lap 2. We had a good pit stop and I had a really good lap 3. Pulled a little bit of time back on him and was sort of closing him in, closed it into 3 seconds on lap 3, and then he eked it back out on lap 4. So big margin over Dean Harrison in 3rd place. He ended up 20 seconds back, I think, of me, 20 plus seconds. So yeah, over the moon really to be in the mix with Michael Dunlop on a super sport bike around the TT is always something that's difficult. So happy with that, and just got to keep the ball rolling. Super bike race today. Let's go. Well, we had a good race 1 on the super sport. I honestly can't even think about that because I got my first TT win in super stock. Absolutely peaking. Still peaking. It was like 2 days ago. I'm still peaking about it. So, well, it's dark.
It is dark. Do you want the light on? There you go.
First TT win, so I'm like still buzzing about that in super stock, but I feel like a massive weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I can go out in this second super sport race and I know I can ride a lot better than I did in race 1, where we were only 7 seconds behind Michael for the win. Finished P2, which was cool in the first race of the week. I was pretty nervous for it, so can't wait for this second one. We got this, then the twin race, then the senior, all on the last day of the TT. So it's a busy one. The rain's been coming down the last few days and messing up the schedule, so it's going to be a mental last day. See how we go on.
You just might want to give a bit of a damp, just get some temperatures.
2 minutes start line, 2 minutes. Start line, 1 minute.
Continues to lead the race at Ramsey Hairpin. Davey Todd by 1.5 seconds. It's gone out by another 7/10 of a second. So Dunlop increases his lead at Ramsey lap 1 to 1.5 seconds in this Monster Energy Supersport TT race 2. Dean Harrison is then 1.9 seconds, 2 seconds effectively down on Todd in 3rd. James Hillier is 3.8 seconds down on Harrison in 4th. It is only 9/10 of a second. Final lap. It's then 2 seconds now between Harrison and Todd, so that's gone out by another 0.6 of a second as well. So the gap's just stretching very, very marginally. There's still only 6 seconds between those front 3.
Great. Really greasy and flippy out there. So steady at first lap. It's just like, just seeing the conditions. I said there's only them damp spots in them places, but I thought it's probably more than that, you know.
High five, David. Come on. Come on. Little kid, come on. Okay, feel guilt trip in your
No, not me. Stop it, it's going on the vlog. They don't need that.
Everyone needs that in the vlog.
Film yourself. How do you feel about that race?
That was a fantastic race. I really enjoyed it. Although Davey, I'm not gonna lie, looks a little bit disappointed.
You were disappointed?
No, Davey looks a little bit disappointed.
Yeah,
I think
he
this
is.
is the mindset of a winner now, isn't it?
It
You
is,
win
yeah.
once and that's it.
If he's not winning, he's not happy.
All the time.
David's on, of course. Hold on, mate. The Ducati, that Ducati sounds beautiful, and you're really on top bill with it now.
Yeah, it sounds cool, it looks cool. The thing's going really well. It was always going to be a challenge coming here with a brand new bike that's never been to the Isle of Man TT before. We've all seen it goes well on short circuits, but it's a complete different thing taking it around the TT course. So it started off difficult, and the boys, the Power Toolmate Ducati boys, have improved it session by session quite a lot, like big steps every time to make the bike better and better. And to be honest, the bike was probably better than I rode it there. The conditions had me a little bit nervous. Like Dean said, we didn't know where the damp patches were. We expected a few more with the conditions that we've had, and yeah, maybe rode a little bit too cautious, but the grip didn't feel all there to me. But nah, hats off to these boys. They're riding really well again. So over the moon to be stood on the podium again, feeling like that. So.
Fantastic, well done, Davey Todd. Okay, we're going to let these guys go now because, as I say, they've got a lot more to do today.
So we're back home now from the TT. There was a bit of a gap there, but I'm pretty sure, as most of you seen, we're a little bit busy celebrating after the TT, at the end of the TT, to film any more bits. So thought we'd do something when we get home anyway, but honestly it's like a week later and I'm still absolutely buzzing about the TT and everything that we achieved in that week. It was a dream come true week, really. Only getting one podium before the TT this year, and then to stand the podium 5 times. I think it's pretty special on the Ducati, bringing that there for the first time. We just didn't know how it'd go, and knew it was going to be a work in progress as we progressed along, and the boys did a fantastic job all the way through, making it better and better every single time we went out. And to stand on the podium on the Ducati in both Supersport races in P2 and P3, it was it was a massive achievement, I think, for the Power Toolmate Ducati guys. What is that? It's like the microwave. Why is it beeping?
Saying error. I don't know why. Oh.
Yeah, so honestly, still on cloud nine a little bit from everything we achieved at the TT this year. Sure, the couple of podiums on the Ducati were awesome, but I got my first 2 wins at the TT and first one in the Superstock race after a race-long battle with Dunlop and Hickey, and to do it in that way and get the first win was literally a dream come true. And then to go on after that and win the senior, I don't know what to say. As you can see from my face, probably I'm still buzzing about it. This one's going to take a long time to sink in. So what I did, I posted something on Instagram just the other day to wrap up the video a little bit, seeing as we were a little bit busy celebrating at the end of the TT, to wrap it up properly. Stuck something on Instagram where you could ask questions about the TT and the Ducati and everything, and we've got all the questions here. Abby's got them all here. She's going to read some questions out for me or what? I had a lot of questions comparing the Ducati to the BMW, and it's so hard to compare it. Like I prefer riding big bikes to lesser powered bikes, so no matter what bike really, I prefer the bigger bike. At the same time, I absolutely am loving the journey and loving the experience of riding the Ducati V2. It's something totally different and new in terms of how to ride it compared to other bikes that I've ridden. You can't compare it to the BMW. I prefer the big bike, and BMW's a super bike and super stock bike. The Ducati V2 is a super sport bike, so they're both awesome. They're really different. Everything about both the bikes works in a completely different way. The chassis is probably one of the biggest things of the bikes that is so different with the Ducati. I'm sure there's people that know a lot more than me in this respect, but basically the bike is built around the engine on the Ducati, where the BMW has a frame, the standard way of doing it, frame, and the engine sat in the frame, and so on. This made our experience at the TT definitely challenging because of this. With the Ducati, it works in a different way, so you have to set it up in a different way and everything. And initially, the differences were that the Ducati was actually really nervous. The BMW is really stable and feels really chill out there in the TT course, whereas the Ducati was really nervous on the front end. We did improve that all the way through. It still the finish a lot more nervous than the BMW was, but we helped it a whole lot. I think that's the biggest difference, obviously, other than going into the power's different, the throttle feel, because the V2 engine is a V2, so the whole feeling of the throttle and the connection and how it works and the RPM that the bike revs to feels so much lower, whereas the BMW wants to rev a little bit more and work in that different window. But yeah, you could probably talk all day about the differences. They're two very different bikes. As far as gearing's concerned, you can't really take anything into account from what I've learned from the Honda CBR 600 across to the Ducati. It just doesn't translate. It's a completely different bike, so something totally different for sure. We did change a gear in, I think. We ran the Northwest gear in for a little bit, and then maybe the usual thing is you put a tooth on the rear. From the Northwest to the TT, putting a tooth on the rear is the go-to, so I think we ended up doing that, if I remember correctly, but you'd be better off asking the guys. I definitely don't think I got the maximum out of the Ducati. We were not far off with where we were at, but there's more to be had out of the bike for sure. There's potential there. a lot more in me. I said to the guys after the second race where we finished third, it was only a 2-lap race. I came in and said to the boys, honestly, it was in me. Like, I could have rode faster. I should have rode faster. But the conditions weren't great. There was a few damp patches. We only had 2-lap sprint basically to go out there and racing. So I just I wasn't all in. I rode a little bit reserved, and I think there's more in it. Is it coming out again this season? Yes, it is. Maybe only one more time, a couple more times. Don't know how much I can say. We're taking it to Amoy, which is exciting. Wish we could have brought it to the Southern, but it doesn't work with the rules. The Southern 100s still haven't changed the rules to the new gen Supersport rules yet. I think they're possibly talking about it for next year, but for this year it's still 600ccs only, which actually writes off so many people from the race, because nearly everybody has a Triumph or a Suzuki 750 or a Ducati V2 now, so it's a bit weird why they haven't done that, but they just obviously couldn't put it in place in time, and so we can't take it there. But Amoy, it'd be cool, and possibly somewhere else. I'm not going to say too much on the somewhere else thing, but we've got something exciting in the pipeline. Can't say too much in case it doesn't come off, but something really exciting with the V2 hopefully coming to.
And 2025?
Oh, 2025? I don't know yet. I'd like to be back on the Ducati V2 in the Supersport class. I'd obviously like to be back with the team again, because we felt great this year. I've loved this season so far. We still got a lot of season to go, but we can only wait and see if they want me back next year. Potentially. I've never rode one, so I can't honestly say what the V4 would be like. The V2 is a different bike, so I don't know. I've never rode a Ducati big bike. I've actually never rode any other Ducati other than the V2, so I don't know. Maybe someday, but I think we've all seen that the Ducati V4 is an incredible package on short circuits, but at the same time that doesn't always translate to the TT and road races. So would it work? I'm sure it probably would. Would it take a bit of development? I think so too. The same as the V2. But at the same time, I'm so happy with the BMW. I'm loving the BMW M1000RR this season and feel right at home on it. So I'm honestly not in too much of a rush to get off it. How long does it take to get a good setup? Pretty much all the way through the TT. You're like making little tweaks here and there with the bike. Honestly, my bikes have been there or thereabouts all season long. They've been so good, and I haven't had to change a lot. And it's more in me just developing myself as a rider and learning how I can ride better with the bike and go faster. So it's how long is a piece of string. Like, if you've got a great bike going into the TT, then you might not have to do too much, whereas if you're struggling at the beginning of the TT, you'll have a lot of work. Like, we had a lot more changes to do on the V2 than we did with the BMW, so you're always developing really at the TT. Pros and cons I've sort of gone over a little bit already, but I start with the cons. The instability, the nervousness of the front end was a little bit of a concern at the beginning of the TT. We didn't really suffer with that at the Northwest, but got to the TT, as we know, the TT is a completely different thing. It's like nothing else anywhere else in the world. So got to TT and found that it was really nervous, especially at speed. We did improve that drastically throughout the 2 weeks, which was really good. To be fair, the team improved it massively on the first night. We made a big change for the second night, and it was a lot better straight away, and then chipped away after that. Pros of it, I love the feeling of the power and the throttle connection and everything. I know everybody likes to talk about how it's a 950cc and it's not a super sport bike, but at the same time it's restricted on the throttle, so it is even top speed wise. If anything, it's a little bit down like top end speed, but it just gets there really well. So it comes off the turns so well. The torque of the bike, you can ride it a little bit more like a big bike, which suits my style. So you use the torque and slow down a little bit more mid corner instead of carrying more corner speed. It's not far different. So where Michael Dunlop's R6, there isn't anybody in the world that could have an R6 like his. He's got a special engine builder, and that is a one of a kind engine. The Ducati is, I was gonna say it is basically like you could build one of them yourself, pretty much. That being said, you could get close to that power wise and everything. You could basically build that. Where it comes in, the difference is the chassis and the setup and everything. I've got the K-Tech through rod fork internals and K-Tech through rod shock, which is awesome. I have that in the BMW as well. I love that stuff. And there's a few small differences I think that I can't think of right now. The tank's different. The tank has to be custom made, but it's not like my team built that. Stuart and Mike, the week before the TT, modified our own tank for the TT. You need a bigger tank for the TT. A slightly different subframe and seat and stuff like that, but it's not miles away. It's not miles away. Depends whether he's talking in terms of injury or in terms of just worse. Like the one that sticks out to everybody as the worst is 2018. Crashed at Diaz Leap at the Ulster Grand Prix on the Burroughs Engineering bike, and I was pretty much all right. I broke my foot, but it was like 160 miles an hour. Fast crash, not at all where you want to crash. The video's out there on. I'll put the video in now. That's a good idea.
Hickman there as well with his wheel in the air, and Davey Todd is off at Diaz. Oh my goodness! Oh, he just slid low-sided. Off he went. Maybe the wind is up there. It is rather windy. Maybe the wind might have had something to do with that, but let's hope he's okay. Here we go again. Oh,
just landed completely differently to the others, didn't they? And there he is, the bike. That's the bike doing all that spectacular stuff. Red flags are out, of course, but I think Davey Todd, if we might be lucky, would have got away with that.
The TV video isn't as good as the spectator video that we're going to put in now. The spectator, one spectator got a really good video, and you see how fast I went down.
oh dear, mate.
Anyway, that was probably the worst. It could have been the worst. I was pretty lucky, but I had the weirdest injury ever from it, and ever since that day I've been gluten and dairy intolerant because of that crash, which was weird. One bike I'd love to try. There's a couple of bikes I'd love to try, especially right now at the moment. One that's way out there is a Ducati MotoGP bike. I would love to try. The things look awesome and they're obviously going well, and I'd just love to ride a MotoGP bike, take one around Silverstone or Donington or somewhere like that. So Ducati, if you're listening, I would like to go on the MotoGP bike, please. Pretty please. Other than that, it'd be pretty cool to ride a V4, a Ducati V4, and see what they're like. And then, in the same breath, I'd love to ride like Toprak's World Superbike BMW and see how different that is to my stocker and Superbike. Like, I don't think it'd be miles away. I don't think it'd be tons different, but I'd still like to see what it was like. The mullet is definitely for life. Abby keeps trying to get me to cut it. I don't think she's a fan, but
False.
you say it all the time.
No, when it gets really long, I said trim it. It's all right now.
It's all right now. That's really long. I would love to race a 916 at the Classic. That would be awesome, definitely. And especially as though I'd love to, my current crew chief, Stuart Johnson, pretty sure back in the day he was a crew chief in BSB or World Superbike for a Ducati team that was running 916s, and I'm sure someone will correct me and say it wasn't 916s, it was a different bike, but it was something around then, and you probably know quite a lot about one, so it'd be really cool. But I'm at Cadwell BSB, so I won't be at the Classic, unfortunately, but I would if I could. Again, something I would love to be at is Oliver's Mount Gold Cup. At the moment, I'm going to Goodwood Revival and have agreed to do that. And at the moment, Oliver's Mount are still the same as Southern 100, and they don't have the next generation, whatever they call it, the new Super Sport bikes allowed. So at the moment, Oliver's Mount are only allowing 600s, which again writes off anybody with a Triumph, a Suzuki or a Ducati from going there. Unless they change the rules, then we can't even look at it. But honestly, it's probably unlikely. I'd love to go, but it's not up to me. It's the team's decision, and I've already twisted their arm into a lot of extra races that they didn't plan on doing or budget on doing. I'd race every single weekend, as you all know. I'd literally race every single day if I could. So I would if I could. We can only wait and see if the opportunity arises. Just keep the camera. Thanks. This one, probably. I don't know, maybe the other one. Senior TT. The first win was special though. The Superstock Trophy is there too. But Senior TT, it just doesn't get better, does it? Like, it literally doesn't get better. It's dream come true. Senior TT winner. Mental.
Do you want to show people your trophies while we're here?
I think that's a good ending.
So no.
Yeah, so that completely concludes in a really weird way, and we've pieced this together, but concludes our 2024 Isle of Man TT. It was an amazing one, and hopefully we can keep going next year and keep doing more of the same. But thanks to everybody who tunes in and watches and supports me and is watching these Todd TV episodes. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Leave a few comments, or like and comment in the what? in the thing. Leave the comments. leave the comments down if you like it, or if you don't like it, you can leave comments too, because we get some of them, but that's all right. We appreciate the constructive criticism.
Why are you telling people to slow down?
I don't really know.
Don't say that.
Don't. And we'll have more coming soon when we can get more. We've got plenty coming up for the rest of the season in BSB and a few more road races to go. So I'm sure we'll have plenty of exciting things coming up. This is all I care about though, honestly. This is cool. Right?